Hello there, Sully here, the retired tanky anchor. Welcome to Three Chords and the Truth. Hey, if you're not subscribed yet, now would be a good time to correct that error. It's free, and I promise you it's absolutely painless. Okay, as you know, I'm a retired trucker. This coming month, the month of May, will mark 7 years since I parked the big rig for the last time. And I have to tell you that there are some days when I miss the hell out of it, but that's more nostalgia than reality. The reality is, it's not a good job anymore. It's no longer even considered a trade. And with the political climate these days, with tariffs and inflation and fuel costs, I see and I am predicting a mass exodus from the trucking industry. Drivers are going to be leaving in droves. The old timers are just going to get sick and fed up with it, realize they have enough time in with a pension, hit the road. People who came in recently are going to come to realize, as most of the people who in their first year of driving realize, it's not for them. I got into driving in the 90s. That was at the tail end of the outlaw era. And we started seeing the technology that is commonplace today start coming in-cab communications with the Qualcomm OmniTrack system being installed in just about every truck out there. And then dash cams and driver cams and electronic logs. And now it's the so-called autonomous trucks, the self-driving trucks. The business is changing. And reading the papers these days, it seems that uh, that the ports are pretty much empty and containers aren't coming in from overseas, and this is bad. I see lots of parked rigs, overcrowded truck stops, empty store shelves, and worse, trucking companies laying off drivers. That was unimaginable even up to a few years ago. I mean, the ATA created their big driver shortage to keep wages down, and that eventually created a real driver shortage when guys who had been doing it for years just got sick and tired of the lousy pay and no more opportunity for making money. Uh, but I see a lot of guys are just going to, next time they go to the terminal, they're just going to park the rig, clean it out, head home, or they're just going to go to a truck stop, park it, hop on a bus or a plane, and head home. Uh, like I said, this driver shortage, which was created by the ATA and by big trucking, saying all the great jobs out there to get people coming in who are willing to work for less money than the guys who were out there, you know, during the pandemic, it created a real driver shortage because those guys were just quitting. They couldn't take it anymore. Anyway, as for me, I'm glad I just got out before the excrement hit the air conditioning. But I still wax nostalgic from time to time. And I got to thinking about how many trucking songs there are. I never did them in my channel, and that's about to change. Breaker Breaker. It's a 1976 single by the American Southern rock band The Outlaws. It was written by their guitarist, Huey Thompson, and it's the opening track and lead single from their second album called Lady in Waiting. It reflects the 1970s CB radio craze more than anything. Title referring to the common CB phrase "breaker breaker," which is what you said when you were trying to start a conversation. Musically, it blends southern rock with country rock elements, featuring bright, easygoing melodies and harmonies. And it reached number 94 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart. It found greater success, though, in the Netherlands, where it peaked at number 19. Now, the Outlaws were from Tampa, Florida. They were known for their triple guitar lineup and rich vocal harmonies, distinguishing them with the southern rock genre. Their style combined rock energy with country influences, evident in Breaker Breaker and other songs like There Goes Another Love Song and Green Grass and High Tides. We all remember those songs, and they were all great. But anyway, here's my take on the Outlaws' Breaker Breaker, and I hope you like it. It's sort of my tribute to the cowboy outlaw trucker who is really something of the past. Take me home to the Halloween.
smoke the water breaker down. I'm going home. Keep my drive, get the best of it. There's some things a man's got to do. 18 wheels keep on rolling along. I'm doing what I want to do. Take me home. The highway for me. Take me home. You know what I wanna see. Here in old lonesome highway, somewhere to love, ride again. Back on the road, I got a heavy load, looking over the road out. Pretty well, it's been so long since I set my home. Got to get on the back roads tonight. Ain't wasting highways and back roads and byways. Come on back and country. Breaker, breaker, take me home. To the highway for me. Breaker, breaker, take me home. You know what I wanna see. Breaker, breaker, take me home. To the highway for me. Breaker, breaker, take me home. You know what I wanna see. Breaker, breaker, take me home. To the highway for me. Breaker, breaker, take me home. You know what I wanna see. Breaker, breaker, take me home. To the highway for me. Breaker, breaker, take me home. You know what
Good old coffee. Trucking in the 70s was an absolute vibe. It was a wild combo of rebellion, independence, and more CV slang than a person should legally be allowed to use in one conversation. Uh, Citizens band radios were the social network before social networks. Truckers used them to dodge the law, scales, state troopers, Smokey Bear, county mounties, the sheriff, local yokels, the local police, etc. And, it was a lot of glorious nonsense, basically. And in the 70s, it hit the mainstream harder than a cheap retread tire hits the road. I mean, there were songs like Convoy by C.W. McCall, which was all about CV talk, and it became a chart topper. And there was movies, like Smokey and the Bandit, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, Sally Field, and Convoy, which was Chris Christopherson and Burt Young, yeah, Rocky's brother-in-law. It kind of romanticized that lifestyle, and when you get a Rhodes Scholar, who's also a helicopter pilot and a famous singer-songwriter, and put him in the cab of a truck, you can believe he's a trucker, right? Well, I did. There were TV shows like BJ and the Bear, which introduced America to a trucker and his monkey. No, seriously, really, a trucker and his monkey. And of course, there was the fashion. Long haul fashion wasn't about Paris. It was about practicality and attitude. I mean, trucker hats were in for truckers before they were a hipster thing. Aviators, denim, leather vests, and who can forget the belt buckles? I mean, you had to throw your belt buckle out the window going across the scale, or else you'd be overweight. But these drivers in the 70s, they were the blue collar cowboys of the interstates, independent, self reliant, and often treated like modern day folk heroes, especially during the 1973 oil crisis, when truckers protested fuel prices and speed limits with highway showdowns and even blockades. There was a famous uh, uh, trucker riot. I guess it was in 1979 at Five Points in Levittown, PA. That was on national TV. But people would get these massive chromed out beasts, their Peterbilts, their Kenworths, going down the road. Nowadays it's Volvos and Freightliners. But the 70s scene was more about freedom and rebellion than it was about transportation. That was before it became a job, when it was a life. For Three Chords and the Truth, I'm Sully, the retired tanker. Safe and happy travels, everybody.